Hello and welcome to the Blossoming Unity podcast. My name is Janice and this is Nicole, and we are here to introduce you into the conversation about different spiritual techniques, methodologies, in order for you to have inspiration for your day-to-day life. Hello, Nicole.
Hello. How are you? How is everyone this week? We would love to know. How was full moon for everyone? How was it for you?
Mm. Oh, it's amazing. So good. So many beautiful things, surprises, opportunities, just kind of presenting themselves at this point. They're just, sometimes you just got to sit back and they just boop, 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 boop. There's a lot of times I forget that there is a real chunk of my life when I was at the mercy of every full moon. Every full moon, I was going through it, just going through it. So much pain, so much, mental conflict, emotional conflict, just constantly over and over and over again. And I was like, why is it always like this? And it finally dawned on me. I was like, I'm in the cycle of the damn moon. What is going on here? I was like, why am I in the cycle of the moon? Because I had a lot of emotional stuff that wasn't taken care of. So I constantly was going through the moon cycles because my moon center wasn't able to actually be embraced and experienced in its fullness. So I was constantly going through the moon cycles. And every time the moon comes around, I'm just like, so much pain, so much, I just need a release. And of course, you're never going to actually see what it is until you actually go into it and figure out where the resonance is. So constantly going around in circles, same with the moon, over and over and over again. And then feeling that through this full moon, I was like, what? This full moon is great. I love it. Everything is
What is
amazing. I love
playing?
the moon.
Surfing the moon waves.
I love it. I was feeling the waves because I started, when you do this work, you can recognize whenever there's certain cycles going on within, the solar system, anything, whatever's really affecting whatever. So you can kind of see within your community, like how it's affecting the people that are physically around you, not just what's happening on the internet or happening, all around the world and all that, but physical seeing what's going on and just seeing everyone just lose their minds yesterday. And I'm sitting there and I'm just feeling it just flow through me. And I'm not feeling any of the turmoil or chaos that they're feeling. Because what I recognize, if you can feel the chaos and the turmoil that they're feeling, that means there's still resonance within you that's allowing that to be accepted. So I didn't feel a damn thing. I'm sitting there like do 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 do. I'm just strolling and strutting. I still took my cold showers after spending a significant amount of time with any particular person. I still do that actually, even if I don't feel any resonance, I still do that just because I know it is when you're doing the energy game, it can get sneaky. So yeah, it was great. I did a little meditation, did a little bit of yoga, had some fun, really relaxed into it. It was great. The moon was beautiful. It was like a pink. It was a nice little pink over where I was. So have fun. What about you? Do you do anything spectacular or feel anything or see any chaos?
I actually always put all my crystals out, which takes hours in the meantime. It's
Yeah, yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot of work. If you have a lot of crystals, you have to put a lot of crystals into the moon.
Mm,
So crystals is like I put them out, like all my malas, all my crystals that are in the rooms. Like, can you see them? No, you cannot. These over there, these over there. I put them out into the full moons because with the full moon, the crystals download data. Every crystal has its own job. For example, this is a crystal that I work with like every day.
mm,
It's a rutile quartz sphere, and this is just as the opposite. This is a clear quartz sphere.
mhm,
So um, every crystal has its own vibration and its own job to do in a house or on a body. So I put them out into the full moon so they can download the necessary data, the downloads that they have, the vibrational downloads from the planets that they work with. For example, rose quartzes work with Venus, and Venus has a specific position during the full moons.
Mm.
And so the rose quartz download the Venus energy for that, while for the next month, while for example, morganite has a totally different job, while clear quartz has another job to do. So every crystal that you have has its own job that it's doing in your energetic field, in your house, or on your auric field. So they need like to have a monthly update of the planetarian structure. They get out into the full moon just at night. They never see sunlight. Crystals should never be put into sunlight. It burns the there's a certain kind of patterning in the crystal when their consciousness is awake. They really don't like that. So I do that every full moon. And then I do, of course, a lot of Kundalini yoga, because on the moons, the glandular system is more active. So you can, fourth day, 10th day, 11th day of the moon, plus full moon and new moon, you do a lot of much more yoga, much more meditation to get more energy into the physical body, to get more cleansing, clearing. And me personally, I'm on my cycle. I have a full moon cycle.
Mm.
So women, like, this is like magic.
Healers, 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 healers. If
Healers.
your cycle is hooked on the full moon, you are a healer. Stop fighting your right.
Yes, and it's like I was really confused in the beginning. I was like, what, a couple of years ago when I started bleeding on full moons every month, like
Mm.
no fucking matter what's going on planet, I was like, oh, full moon, there you go. And I love my cycle. I mean, I have a deep connection with my cycle. And so, but then I read that, oh, it's not normal to bleed on full moons. It's really strange. You need to have a new moon cycle. Only then you're in the right cycle. And I was really confused. I was like, what, why is then my body wrong? Is something, is something upside down that I don't know of or so?
Mm.
Um, and I was really insecure about it, because apparently the majority of women bleed on new moons. Well, most of them don't bleed nor like in normal at all, but the ones that
Mm.
are in tune with their bodies and that do maybe yoga or certain kind of practices, their body starts to bleed and in with the moon, because that's what makes sense. So
Right.
the new moon women, there are far more women bleeding on new moons than on full moons, because apparently that's what's natural. For me, it's really unnatural to do new moons. I had last year, my whole cycle went retrograde before I
Mm.
turned 40. My whole cycle, and this is like huge for me as a woman. It was like a nightmare. My whole cycle, like turning retrograde, everything was pulled upside down internally. And now, since my 40th birthday, the moon before the 16th of May, I'm back on the full moon cycle. So and this is what feels most natural. And yeah, it's the healers, it's the great transformers,
Mm.
the the big wisdom holders. Yeah.
Yep. This is totally your area. I don't go through that every month. So all I know, that's
Yeah.
all I said was all I know, and
Yeah.
that's all I can say.
I mean, it's not so interesting as well. So like,
Well, for a lot of women it is.
yeah, maybe it is, but I think it's really important to understand that there are different ways of cycles with women, and that everything is fine. Everything is good for you.
And the
There's
power.
no, yeah, there's no just this is good or that is good. Or even when you have a longer cycle and you never bleed on the same day at all, that's fine as well. Or if you
Mm.
have short cycles and you have like, or short and long, and like, you do you, like, I don't care.
Mm.
If it bothers
It,
you, then there's things
I
to.
know I know some women that look at their cycle, and when they're going through that release, it's a personal power for them,
It
because
is.
then they use That blood is an offering,
It
a
is.
thank you of gratefulness, of
Yes.
um, and it's beautiful to see, especially when you see women really in tune with their bodies and they know every little thing that's going to happen, and because of that, they're totally in tune with everything that's around them.
Yes.
So that's when I'm speaking to some of my male clients, it's like if you're feeding your woman insecurity, if you're feeding your woman fear, if you're feeding your whatever you feed her, she's going to multiply no matter what it is. It could be energetically. If you're with a woman who is a powerful woman, is very in tune with her body, in tune with her emotions, in tune with her thoughts, all of that, you need to be able to be a powerful man because it's going to break you all the way down. It's going to pull out every insecurity of yours. And if you're not conscious enough, you're going to project those insecurities onto her. You're going to project those fears and all of that onto her. And like, that's going to be multiplied. So you got to be able to hold space for that, especially when all of the different cycles are happening. You got to be able to hold space for it.
Yeah. And I think like for women as well, like men go through cycles as well. They're
Mm.
longer and
Yes.
they're different, but they're very important as well. And for a woman in a partnership to, or in a relationship, to hold space for her partner to go through growth cycles and go through
Mm.
emotional cycles is so important. It's like
Yes.
very, very important. And
Mm.
I think there is, as long as you are lacking parts of you that are somewhere in the past, that like as long as there are children within you that are not at home yet, as long as there are traumas um like running after you, um there is this huge opportunity to have fights and to have um misunderstandings in love relationships. And
Mm.
like more and more and more, I'm always saying this to my clients and I keep on saying that, but um everyone serves you to see what you don't see. So your partner is there. Your partner's first and foremost primal job is to make your unconscious conscious. So he will and she will trigger you at the points where you don't see them. So there is not, no, there's only one thing you can choose. Either you choose that, okay, my partner's job is to make my blind seen, the blind spots that I have, that I see them. So when my partner is pointing out some things that are really uncomfortable, instead of going into being triggered and getting like on a revenge mode, I I I inhale and I'm like, okay, wait, there's some, this person loves me, so she or he wants to tell me something that I don't understand about me. So okay, let's first and foremost think that this person wants the best for you,
Mm.
and then in order to that, to then understand that there's some things you have that are blind. Like I had today a client, she said, I explained her how children work and how they start to build strategies to get energy from their parents if they don't get it, and how she still has a strategy running that is like constantly behaving like a child in order to get energy from people. And she's by any means, she's like, she turned 30, so she's no child anymore. And I said to her, well, when you're like having euphoria like a child has euphoria, then you also need the depression like a child or the sadness like a child. So this is the duality game. And she said to me, oh my God, my partner, my lover for 7 years and the father of my unborn child, she's pregnant now, always said to me, I cannot be happy like you are. I can only be happy like a grown up. And she always blamed him for that. She's like, I said to him, you cannot do it. And why are you not happy with me? And she's like, oh, I
Mm.
need to talk to him, because what he saw, and he saw it correctly, he saw that inner child that was like really like if you see a 30-year-old person like, oh my God, this is so cool, this is so, behaving like a little child, you're like, this is strange. Like, you know, so yeah, that was really interesting. So everybody serves you, especially the people that around you that love you, they serve you, and the service is to make your unconscious conscious. And sometimes that triggers the shit out of you. You know what? Take a deep breath and be thankful. That's how it works. This is the game of love, of love relationships.
Best game,
Best game ever
quote unquote.
for those that are in love, especially.
There's so there's this thing about being in love, just become love.
Keep on going.
That's it. Take it. That's open for interpretation. See, when you're in love, you create a barrier, a little box, because you're in it, right? You're in the love. So there's a limitation to the love, but when you become love, there's no more limitations. But to understand that as well, you have to go much deeper than what the words are suggesting. By becoming love, it's not about doing the act of becoming love, it's realizing what you're not, and therefore, what are you left with? So, with the everlasting consciousness, if you recognize that as you are, which obviously takes a lot of steps, is talking about people who've been, you know, on their journey for quite some time. When you recognize that and you become consciousness, like a lot of people say, oh, just become like a child again. Some great teacher said that once. Become like a child again. Or become love, become this, become that. See, when someone says become this, it's inviting you into the conversation of, well, why am I not that? Then the question arises. Then you go down the rabbit trail of, okay, I'm going to do everything in my power to become love. I'm going to do every single practice. I'm going to read every single book. I'm going to go to every single teacher. I'm going to watch every single video. I'm going to keep on searching. Then the search starts. It's like, well, I've hit every single area that I could possibly even think of, maybe not imagine, but every single way that I've gone about becoming love just hasn't worked. So then where does it point you towards? You've done everything on the outside, every single thing. You've done the practices, you've talking and spoken and researched and wrote notes and journal and shadow work, inner child work, and this, that, and the fourth. And you go around and around and around and around and around. And then you take a deep breath. And that pause, something happens when you say, well, maybe I'm pointing in the wrong direction. And then you look in. And at first, the outside still wants to show itself. When you start looking in, you see all the outside stuff, the thoughts. Yeah, the thoughts are an inside job. Yeah, but is that really inside? The emotions, is that really an inside job? Or, I mean, you can't see my emotions unless I express them with my physical body, or you feel them energetically, but it's kind of still an outside job. It's still physical. You go on and on and on and on. You go deeper and deeper. And then wherever you point towards, thy who seeks shall find. Become love, they say. What made you think that you're not?
Sounded like a poem.
I have poet in my description on
Totally.
Instagram.
You totally are a poet.
Well, you know, most people, and what I recognize when you look at anyone who doesn't take themselves too seriously, at least when they speak, it's always a story. That's never something really truly direct. Some of them are pretty direct, but it's always a story. Like they're not going to give it to you straight up, right? Because the words are going to be distorted into the infinite amount of perceptions that you could take it. I could say the word the, and 30 different people took the way that I said the in a completely different direction. All about tone, the way my facial expression is. So there's a subconscious understanding of different, quirks or whatever. But when you tell a story, it's one, yes, open for interpretation for whoever's watching it, but the story takes you into a flow, into a trance. So the conscious mind is kind of watching, but the subconscious is taking in more, because it's like when you focus on one thing and you really focused on one thing, and then when you let go of that focus, and then all your vision kind of goes and it widens, and then you're taking in even more information, and the whole body feels like it's like in this weird flow state. Because I notice whenever I'm really really focused on one little thing and I'm just super honed in, everything else is gone and I'm only focused on that. But when I widen my vision, I'm taking in all the information. My reflexes are faster. The way that I'm able to jump on the dime is faster because I'm taking in more information. My eyes are at least taking in more information and seeing more than what it was when I was only honed in on that one single thing. So it's almost the same understanding as when you're taking down that flow within a story, the interpretation is hitting the subconscious more direct rather than just giving it to it straight up.
I don't know if it's for me to become love. I really don't know. I I really would love to become human, like
You're
fully.
already human.
Yeah, but like, experience this human incarnation as a human fully, and
Absolutely.
to see what that holds. Mm.
Mm. I totally agree 100%. And that also, within what it is that I just explained, brings up the same exact thing. When did you think that you weren't? Because we think we are not, right? That who was the great Shakespeare? I think, therefore I am. That was the worst case of advice ever given in the human history. I know there's some people that are going to be listening to this, be like, "How dare you say that?" Just because you think doesn't mean you are. You ever have moments when you're not thinking at all? You're still there, still very much there, but you're just not perceiving yourself as you. You're just perceiving. So it's like if I want to experience the fullness of what human being is, there's a becoming, but a lessening as well, the lessening of the belief systems that I'm not that, or the
You
in
need,
place
you need to
structures.
be far away from the belief system that you are human in order to want to become human. You need to be far out. Like, in order to understand the greatness of to be a human and to live this human incarnation, this life, in order to have the love for that,
Mm.
the deepest gratitude and the compassion for that, you need to understand, you definitely need first to understand that you're not this body.
Oh, for sure.
That's
Oh, for sure. And
like
I think
essential. That's like there, and then you go all the way, and then maybe here you
And then, like, one of the steps as well, one of the most pivotal steps you can make is when this is why so many amazing teachers say this. And when you really ride with it, you really get it. You're just a blip. When you look at a flower, you're the same as a flower, but there are perks. When you really get with that, it's like, oh, a flower blooms. Oh, another flower blooms. Oh, another flower blooms. Oh, a raindrop. Oh, when you reckon that you really get with it, you stop taking yourself so seriously. Then the possibility of what you're talking about is there's a possibility of unfolding.
yeah, and there doors over portals over doors within us,
Yes.
and
Every
all those
so.
doors and portals and every single cell holds the wisdom of the universe. So in order to access that, in order to co-create with the heavens and the earth, in order to get the teachings of the chakras, the teachings of the gunas, the elements, in order to understand all that and bring that into flow and become superhuman. Like superhuman, not only human. We should create a brand, become superhuman. And that just
Mm,
means to be actually human, to
yeah.
actually use this body. That would be so funny because people think becoming a superhuman is to become totally extraterrestrial, extra super glowy. But what you actually just need to become is human and not a like a robot or a what do you call those things that are
AI.
no
Oh,
those
zombie. A
yes,
zombie.
zombie
Yeah.
because people
So
are
it's recognizing that being human is super.
oh yeah, totally. It's the best ever. It's like this is magic. I mean, if you understand the capability of this data hub here that you're living in,
Dude, just look at it this way.
dude,
We're on a Zoom call currently,
yeah,
talking across the world in
yeah.
space and time as this planet is rotating, as the birds are flying, the trees, the wind, all of this is
With
happening.
you it's day,
All
here it's night.
seriously, this is magic.
It is.
This is a magical experience in itself. You could just just that real or recognition gave me a thirst I don't think could ever be quenched.
And just that we found each other.
Yeah.
Imagine this 7 billion people, and we
7 billion.
found each other to co create this. And there are
Yes.
people that actually listen to this and they're like, oh, yeah, this sentence really helped me. That knowledge, oh, yeah. And then they become superhuman. Who,
Mm.
you know, it's like this is the pure magic and orchestration of what's going on is beautiful.
Let me look up something really quick while we're on here.
Yeah, sure. Do it. Should I sing a song in the meantime? Like one of those elevator songs?
Oh, becoming human.
Dun, dun, dun,
That's
dun,
on PB.
dun,
Oh,
dun,
that's already a series.
dun, dun, dun,
Do,
dun,
do, 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 do.
dun.
Nice. Yeah, I was just looking up different names. I like marketing, so I was looking up like
Oh,
different
there
names.
we go. We just go in co-creation mode. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think for me, like the magic of the of many different spiritual schools, of mystical schools, of spiritual teachings, to get into that, the magic of the only yoga. I mean, you could spend lifetimes of studying yoga and understanding the chakras and like how to access those energy centers and how to balance your elements in the body. Like you can spend I spent lifetimes doing that, I'm sure. uh,
Mhm.
the mysticism of sound, because
The list goes on
in
and on and on.
sounds, like it goes on and on. So I really I want to become human. Like if I
Yeah.
make it in this lifetime to actually become superhuman, just superhuman in this body, I love that.
There's literally yogis who only practice one position their entire life.
Yeah,
Just one. Just one. The art of sitting. That's all they practice. Every day, day in, day out. That is their one
they
practice and
have
all they do.
one mantra: breath, inhale deep, exhale deep. They do that one mantra all their life.
Their whole life. That's it. The whole life. That's it. That's all they do. They sit there and they breathe. That's it.
Amazing, no?
I mean,
Do you
you
think it's
know,
an incarnation? Do you think it's a lifetime well spent?
yes. If you're in it for the long game, if you're in it for the long game, yes.
That's
If
exactly
you're
the
in it,
point. You have
like
to be in it for the long game
well, not always,
because
depending
you
on where
only
you
have
are in your
one life.
journey. If you only have one life, if you have one life,
It would
one
be
lifetime,
great.
and that's it, I'm off to the races. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing in this incarnation. I'm off to the races. So if you're playing the long game, right? You're playing the long game, lifetime over lifetime over lifetime over lifetime after life. Then yeah, that's a life worth spent. You're doing what you got to do. Evolution of consciousness, yes, absolutely, 100%. You're learning how to evolve in a way where the physical body can be at complete ease and presence and just being there. Absolutely, 100%. And it's helping many other species evolve as well within doing that act. Jeez. There's been so many lifetimes. Now it's time in off to the races. Now it's time to go, 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 go. When you, I have sat down with death for months on end. The being surrounded by death, the the odor of death, the experience of death, all of it. Examining skulls and bones and being at funerals and watching the withering of a human being, watching the withering of an animal, seeing the life come out. It's like that can happen at any moment. It's a celebration, absolutely 100%. That's the we ain't getting out of here alive. But I want to be able to do as much as I possibly can until that moment.
We don't know if we serve our purpose best with doing the thing that the yogi does or
Mm,
doing more.
yeah.
We don't know. Like what I love in Kundalini Yoga to say every mantra you recite, every posture you made, every yoga lesson you did, every time you tune in, every time you breathe mantra, that all is counted into your radiant body. And when you go, you take that with you, these accomplishments, that the basically the constructive energies, you take that with you.
Mm.
So who am I to judge? I don't know. Like
Oh, there's definitely no judgment at all. What?
I really don't know what, like, I think there are people that in this lifetime, and this is for sure you, have bigger jobs to do, like have to reach more people, have
It's more
to
for me
spread
to
more messages.
experience.
Yes, and enjoy yourself while doing that. And I
Yes, it's
and I think even that is like, you enjoy yourself doing that, that's amazing. Like that's exactly what you should be doing. And for but this is like in modern society, people that go out and do a lot and produce a lot, like they're seen as the good people, that are they're seen as the ones that, you know, that made it, that do the right thing. But maybe when you're an introvert and you're just sitting at home and you're just chanting for yourself, a song that praises nature, or a song that praises the angels, I maybe that's way more impactful than what we do, what Dennis and I do together. You know, you just never know what, like, we own, I think we as humans are only capable of understanding impact until up to a certain extent. And so follow your joy, like Dennis says, like it's what he wants to do. And like if you are an introvert and you sit at home and you feel like, oh, I don't want to talk to anyone, but I want to do, I don't know, crochet flowers, I don't know, or I want to build mugs with my hands and do something very, you know, if every person on planet Earth would just follow what they want to do, this planet would be fucking heaven on earth. If you want to do crochet flowers, I'm sure there are people that need them for something. If you want to do mugs out of um what's the thing called, the brown, if you want to do like the
pottery.
pottery mugs, do that.
Mm.
But like, and you cannot afford it yet to live from that, you know what, have a hobby. I love singing mantras, it's my hobby now. I do that. I go somewhere and then I sing there and then I go back home and I'm very happy about that. Does it help anyone? I don't know. I don't care. I don't give a F.
Mhm.
Maybe in 6 months, I will have a mantra CD out and will become a mantra singing star and well known on planet Earth. We just don't know. And who cares? Nobody. Now, today, nobody cares. I
Mhm.
just follow what I really love to do, and like that's why I do this mantra art. That's why I love mantra. I'm in deep love. I'm in awe with this vibration, with the mysticism of sound, and I want to go deep into that. I want to be able to chant a mantra out of every chakra possible to reach you on the level that you can be reached on. There are millions of possibilities. Do I think that helps the planet? I don't know. Do I think that makes me a better human? I don't know. I just follow my passion. I follow my fun. I follow my heart. And I think a planet, like when I think of the ideal paradise, I would want to live on a planet where everybody just follows their bliss.
Just do what you want to do, and if it helps people, then it helps people. That's always been I guess my mission goal is I'm gonna do what I want to do, and that's it.
Yeah.
People get, you know, people say it helps them. Beautiful. But at the end of the day, I'm expressing what I'm doing. This is what I do with
Yeah.
me. This is my main focus. My home is right here. I have to live in this body. I have to live with these thoughts. I have to live with these emotions. I have to live with all this. So, it's a well, it kind of sounds selfish when you put it that way. Absolutely. I'm so selfish
You're
when it
only
comes to
here for
that.
you. For who else should you do stuff when not for you? Like that's the only reason why you're here is yourself.
And it actually teaches you as well to get really joyful in the things for other people
Yeah.
because you are joyful within yourself. You're happy with what's going on within you. It's like if you're not in the mood because you're not feeling aligned within you, no matter what you do, you may get a few, trickery hormone boosts from whatever dopamine you're getting from whatever situation, but we all know that comes to an end, right? So if you can get real good with feeling good within this body, these emotions, this mind, and there's going to be times when not always going to feel that way. We're human, right? But being able to recognize that and having the tools at hand, like that's one of the biggest things. And I know we've talked about that in our podcast before. Is you have the tools. Work with the tools in which you must.
Yeah. And there are many
And
different tools.
oh, so many different tools. And then when you do things for others, you're good within. It's not a question, should I do it? Should I not do it? That's torture. You're torturing yourself. Just do. That's it. When you're at that point, you just do it. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Let's do it right now. Let's get her done. Let's have
And
fun. Let's co-create. Oh, I was thinking about create. Let's do it. Why are you still talking about it?
yeah,
Let's get it.
and that happens in cycles as well, as the moon does, as the female cycle does. It's like creation comes in cycles as well. You cannot be creative 12 months a year. It's impossible. But you can there like creation comes in waves. You have
Maybe for some, I'm constantly creative. If I don't have creative inspiration with a particular art form, I'm being creative with my food. I'm being creative with the way that I'm choosing to read. I will sit here and dance, and I'll do different things. Creation's constantly happening, and I think what it is for me is I recognize the creation that's happening all around me. So I think there's that interface that
yeah,
happens, and I'm like, oh, I see you're always creating, so why can't I? And it just became a thing. But also Pisces, so very creative.
Pisces, very emotional and creative. That's very funny. Yeah, for me, being creative, like cooking food is not creative. Like, yeah, but Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, let's honor
You
every.
you you could you could find creation in all of it.
No, but I mean, come on, that's too spiritual for me. Like
Like what
they say I'm the spiritual one, but I'm not. Like I'm very
like what
if you
when
if
I
you cook and clean, no, that's not being creative. Like that's cooking and cleaning. Let's relax on that, please. No, but
when
for
I
me,
shave my beard,
no, it's not
I make
creation.
it creative. I'll
No,
give
it's
myself a nice
no,
long
you're just cutting
mustache.
your hair. Oh God, you're exaggerating. Oh
I'm
my
so
God,
serious.
this is so like
Every
that's why
man
they
does that.
say these
Every
spiritual people are nuts. They're like,
like
oh, I'm cutting my nails. This is my creation. Like, what the fuck?
that may be a bit extreme for me, but what I'm saying is with if
That
I'm
nails
not
are extreme, but your beard is not.
oh, have you ever do you know I think it's hardwired to any man or any person that
You're
can grow a
so funny.
beard when you have a long beard and you start shaving it. Okay? First you give yourself nice chops and then you
Ugh.
go ahead, you take off the chops, and you have yourself a nice bushy mustache and a long goatee. And then you start taking down the goatee, then you have a nice like little just chin growth and soul patch and a long mustache. Then you take that off, then you just have the soul patch and the mustache. And the mustache, usually my mustache is quite large, so it's really out here and it's all over the lips. And you look in the mirror and laugh at yourself. That's all
Yeah,
you
but
do.
that's not creation.
I'm
Like it is, but
creating
it's
new designs without.
oh,
So
it's
so I guess
that's being playful. And let's agree, good for you. Okay, you're creative. Okay, you're way more creative than I am. I'm way more pragmatic. Let's, yeah, you create your beat.
so what the difference here is the word creation, and that's where we're getting mixed up. For me, creativeness is
I'm just making fun of you.
just about anything that you can do that is different than what it was.
Yeah, I know.
So first I had a beard, then I had some chops, then I had a soul patch and a long mustache. And you sing and make weird facial expressions as you do it. I think that was a beautiful podcast, don't you?
Yeah, very creative. These are friends.
Our creative outro. Thank you so much
Oh
for
my
joining us today
God,
on the Blossoming Unity podcast.
that
This
was
has been
fun.
Dennis and Nicole.
Have a beautiful day, you guys, and let's like me be more pragmatic. Let's be more creative. Whatever you want to do, you do you.
Eyo. She sounds
Okay,
like a little bit of a Debbie Downer, doesn't she?
I
A
don't
little
even
bit of
know
a
who that is.
Debbie Downer. The Americans will.
Who's that?
You know what? Debbie Downer. I actually. So what you say is, oh, you're being a Debbie Downer. So it's like when someone like it's being almost pessimistic, but not to that extreme, right? So
Yeah.
it's like someone's being really optimistic, and oh, this is the, and then you're just kind of like, that's not real life.
Ah, yeah, that's me. I love to be Debbie Downer. You know why? Because people behave like children because they don't have their children at home, and then they're like, and then I'm like, well, that's not a grown up sitting there. Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
totally a Debbie Downer. It's my job to be that, I think, sometimes. As trauma therapist, it sometimes is. When my clients come and like, oh my God, look what I did. I'm like, yeah, how old are you? Like 10? Like, it's good for you to create stuff and it's good, like, do whatever, shave your beard, whatever you want to do. But yeah, Debbie Downer. Let's see.
You are. So you have to connect with your childlike spirit some more. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. You gotta have fun. And
I
the
have
cool thing,
lots of fun. I just don't have fun like a 6-year-old.
oh, there's a difference between being a 6-year-old and recognizing that fun, it doesn't have an age. Like when I recognize the fun that you can have with just about anything, like I can have fun with this pen. You're really enjoying yourself. You're really enjoying the fact of just being with whatever it is that you're doing. And that's fun. it comes off almost, maybe with your clients it may be different. But what I recognize when someone's really joyful and really happy and really enjoying what they're doing, the way the universe reacts to that, it's unmatched and untouched.
I agree. But for me, that's being playful and being fun and not creation. That's probably the difference. You know, for me, like I have that, but it's it's a wording thing. It's a technicality again.
Mm,
I'm Debbie
four
Downer.
score,
It was nice
four
talking to
score.
you guys.
Send her an email of your thoughts, folks.
Oh yeah, I want to have that. But be gentle, please. Otherwise,
Yes, be gentle. Don't be mean. A new romantic cycle begins for a lot of people. So enjoy that.
yeah.
Be playful. Have fun. And as the pessimist likes to say, it's not creation. Just be playful and have fun.
Just be playful. You
Well, the cool thing, well, before we get off of here, what that just actually just inspires something within me. Being playful and fun when you're in a relationship, but the creation is the relationship, the byproduct of the relationship. So the creation is the byproduct. So through you being playful and fun, creation can happen, and that's the byproduct.
I agree.
Dang, we got there.
We got it.
All right, have a beautiful week, guys. Thanks
Okay,
for
guys. Bye.
hanging out. Bye.